What's up, everybody? Justin here to do a Major League Wrestling MLW Fusion review, episode 16. Everybody that doesn't know, watch Major League Wrestling, support them. They put their show up on YouTube, available for free to watch every Saturday evening. They upload it on their YouTube channel. So who's ever watching this, if you're a fan of Ring of Honor, WWE, New Japan, Impact Wrestling, don't just, for all you WWE marks out there, and some of you are absolutely insane, I'm sorry, but if the only wrestling you support is WWE, you are stupid. And you're not a true fan if you just support one company. There's many companies, many good companies out there to support. Especially in the year 2018. There's so much damn wrestling. So many damn good companies. Support them all. Watch them all. Be a fan of them all. And I'm a WWE fan for life. I grew up watching them. They're the first company I started watching that made me a fan of professional wrestling. But even though I'm a WWE huge fan of WWE, and I watch Raw and SmackDown every damn week, even though sometimes it's not very good at all, even though SmackDown is the better show because it's only 2 hours. This coming from me, a WWE mark, but I'm not a stupid mark. I'm not an insane mark that only sees one company and only supports one company. I support Impact, Ring of Honor, New Japan. What did I say? NXT, New Japan, ROH, Impact Wrestling, Major League Wrestling, Stardom, Shimmer. I support a ton of wrestling companies. So here we go with my Major League Wrestling Fusion episode 16 review. Up first, we had a promo video package on Sami Callihan attacking Shane Strickland. And then we went to the MLW opening video to start the show. So then they went to the announcers, Tony Schiavone, Matt Striker. And they said tonight we have 3 main event matches. The first match of the night was Brody King. Big dude, tall dude. Has a ton of tattoos on it all over his body. Brody King taking on Jimmy Havoc. I like Jimmy Havoc. The guy's a pretty damn good talent. The guy's, I know he's from England. The guy's really pale, but he's kind of like a hardcore wrestler. But he can wrestle in his style. Jimmy Havoc, Brody King starts off with a lot of fighting on the outside of the ring. In MLW, there's a 20 count. No 10 count, 20 counts. So Jimmy Havoc does a dive to the outside, grabs on Brody King, DDTs him on the cement floor. Outside the ring, there was no ring mats because there wasn't that much room on the outside because they were in I believe in a nightclub in Queens, New York City. These tapings are from Queens, New York. So Jimmy Havoc does a dive, tornado DDTs him to the floor. That was pretty cool. And as I said, they were on the outside of the ring for about 5 whole minutes, brawling. And then Brody King picked up Jimmy Havoc on the outside, chokeslammed him on the ring apron. Ow. That has to hurt. So anyways, then back into the ring, Brody King tries to chokeslam Jimmy Havoc. He rolls up Brody King 1, 2, 3 with a roll up out of the chokeslam. Jimmy Havoc, your winner. Jimmy Havoc would not stay down, would not quit, would not job. He kept fighting, and he got the victory. Up next, we have an interview, kind of the national TV debut, I guess, of Brian Pillman Jr. He did not wrestle, but he was interviewed backstage. Brian Pillman Jr. doesn't get to talk for much at all because Kevin Sullivan interrupts the legend that was a part of NWA and WCW. Kevin Sullivan, even the guy started his career in the WWF, and he even was in Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling in 83, 84. I believe he might have been there in 82, 81 also. So, Kevin Sullivan interrupts Brian Pillman Jr.'s interview and says, "You're the hottest. I think you're the hottest thing in wrestling. You're going to have a great career. Your dad was great." Putting over Brian Pillman Jr. And then Brian Pillman Jr. says, "Well, thank you for all that, but," he says, I don't want to be looked at as just trying to ride the coattails of my dad." And then at the end, this was pretty cool. This was an inside joke. If you don't get it, well, you're not a long-time wrestling fan. Brian Pillman Jr. says at the end of the interview to Kevin Sullivan, he says, "My dad," he said, "he respected you, Booker man." And then he shakes Kevin Sullivan's hand. If you don't know what that means, I respect you, Booker man, watch WCW Super Brawl 96. Brian Pillman, Kevin Sullivan had a strap match. You'll know what I'm talking about if you watch that pay-per-view, if you have the network. So up next, they were building up and kind of promoting, at least on MLW's Twitter account, that Brian Pillman Jr. was going to make his wrestling debut, I thought. But he didn't make his wrestling debut. It was just a backstage interview. So up next, backstage segment, Selena Del Laurenta talking backstage from far away. The camera was shooting them from far away. Selena was talking with Sami Callihan and Low Ki, the world champion Low Ki. Low Ki pays off Sami Callihan, paid him a ton of money, I guess, for taking out Shane Strickland, because Shane Strickland did have a bounty on his head. So then Sammy says, "I don't like you, Low Ki, but I like money." And Low Ki says, "I think we can keep working together. We got a good thing going." And Sammy says, "As long as you keep the money coming." And Low Ki and Sami Callihan shake hands, like they have an agreement together. So up next, they show a recap of the Battle Riot. Battle Royal, 40-man Battle Riot. Highlights from last week. Which, watch the Battle Riot. If you didn't see it, it's on MLW's YouTube page. The Battle Riot's about an hour and a half. And it has a pretty good amount of views. I think it had about 58,000 views. So, come on, everybody out there. All wrestling fans, support Major League Wrestling. Watch their videos on YouTube. Get their views up. So, up next, we had Tom Lawler. After the Battle Riot highlights, Tom Lawler won it. It was down to Tom Lawler and Jack Hager. Jack Hager, a.k.a. Jack Swagger, used to be Jack Swagger. Tom Lawler promo, and the guy looks like he's at a baseball game inside a baseball stadium. Tom Lawler doing a promo from Fenway Park in Boston. So then we go back to the ring. Colonel Robert Parker in the middle of the ring says, "I want to introduce you to the I think he called him the master and ruler of the world, That's what he used to call Sid. Colonel Parker used to manage Sid for a short time in WCW in 1993. So Colonel Parker brings out Jack Hager. Jack Hager against Simon Gotch. They had a decent match. It wasn't great. It was good enough. Jack Hager wins, defeats Simon Gotch. Backstage interview with Ariana Blake, the manager, girlfriend of Joey, what's the guy's name? Joey Generico, or Joey Janela. Anyways, Ariana Blake has her hair dyed red. She's pretty damn attractive, and she's a female manager. Ariana Blake interviewed, then comes in the interview, interrupts MJF, Maxwell J. Freeman, the current middleweight champion in Major League Wrestling. He says, I got a friend or something that's a billionaire trying to get Ariana Blake to go with him, and she turns him down. She turns down MJF, and he's not happy about it. Then we go to the top 10. The top 10 in Major League Wrestling. I'll just give you 10, 5, and 1. The top 10, number 10 is ACH. Number 5, Sami Callihan. Number 1, Filthy Tom Lawler. He is the current number 1 contender for Low Key's MLW World title. Up next, we had a backstage segment. Selena De La Renta. Or first is Conan talking with Ray Phoenix. Like, just talking like friends. And Conan basically saying, you can be with me, part of, I'll manage you or something like that. Conan wants Ray Phoenix to join him. Until Selena De La Renta interrupts, doesn't like Ray Phoenix talking to Conan. Pentagon comes out with Selena, and Pentagon's like this, like he's ready to hug Conan. But Selena says, no. Yells at Conan, you stay away from them. Let's go. She yells at Ray Phoenix, yells at Pentagon, let's go right now. So then we had, up next we had a short hype video package on La Parka. La Parka coming soon. That's awesome. I was always a big fan of La Parka in WCW. The guy was never pushed properly, was misused, and he was underrated, in my opinion. I don't know how old La Parka is, probably 40 or something, 40s, but I'm sure the guy's still good. So La Parka coming soon, back to Major League Wrestling. I like that. That's awesome. So next we have an interview with Team TBD, and I forget the guy's name, but he attacked his partner Jimmy Uto. He attacked him. So now we go to another backstage segment, but very short, like a minute, only a minute long. Teddy Hart backstage walking, and he goes up to ACH, and Rich Swann, and Teddy Hart says, I don't think Teddy Hart anymore has an attitude problem, but the guy used to, big time. Guy had really bad attitude problems and was fired from WWE, was fired from ROH. Teddy Hart did not really make any friends with anybody when he was younger, 10, 15 years ago. But I think what they're doing with him, this all storyline. It's all storyline. Anyways, Teddy Hart goes up to ACH, and Rich Swann says, what the hell are you looking at? Why are you smiling? He says, what are you laughing at me? And then he says to them, Teddy Hart, you're losing your mind, bro. You're imagining things that people are talking about you behind your back. It's not happening. Teddy Hart says to them, what are you guys talking shit? Very funny segment. And ACH and Rich Swann are like, no, and they start laughing like, what are you talking about? You're crazy. So anyways, up next we have the main event. Sami Callihan taking on Shane, Swerve, Strickland. Pretty good match. Good main event. Went about 15, 20 minutes. Anyways, Sami Callihan wins with a pile driver 1, 2, 3. And also during the match, Sami spit in Shane Strickland's face. Sami, when he wants to be, Sami Callihan, put all his baggage, I'm just saying. Put all the baggage and dumb shit that he's done, especially hitting Eddie Edwards with a bat in the eyeball. Put all that aside just for a second. When Sami Callihan wants to be, and he doesn't want to be lazy, when he wants to be, the guy's a pretty good worker. The guy's a pretty damn good wrestler and worker. Not the best, but he's pretty damn good. And Sami can also cut a very good promo. Again, I'm not a fan of Sami Callihan, but when he wants to be, the guy's pretty damn good. He had a very good match at Slammiversary against Pentagon. He had a good match here in Major League Wrestling against Shane Strickland. So when he wants to be, Sami is a pretty damn good worker when he wants to be and when he's not lazy. So Sami Callihan wins with a pile driver that ends this episode 16 of Major League Wrestling Fusion. I'll be back next Saturday night with another Major League Wrestling Fusion review. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, if you're a wrestling fan, a pro wrestling fan, not just a sports entertainment fan, but a pro wrestling fan. That's what I am deep in my heart. I'm a pro wrestling fan. I love pro wrestling. Pro wrestling's number one to me, not sports entertainment, even though I love WWE, and I always will because I grew up watching them. But again, if you're a pro wrestling fan, I'm going to keep saying this. Support Major League Wrestling, support Impact, support New Japan, support Ring of Honor, support indie companies, support wherever you are. If you're in the UK and Europe, support those companies. Support women's companies, Stardom, Shimmer. They're very good. Support, basically, if you're a wrestling fan, you should already know this, but support all wrestling out there. Do not just be a WWE mark and support them, because there's a lot of other good wrestling that's not WWE and that is doing very well and has great talent. And just a couple guys that I don't think are ever meant, and I don't think, well, I shouldn't say they were never meant to be in WWE, but some guys that are currently wrestling outside of WWE, some of them should not go back or never go to WWE. I don't think Cody Rhodes should ever go back. He won't be treated as a main eventer, especially with Vince McMahon alive. Maybe if Triple H was running things 100%, I think he'd be smarter and he would actually push Cody. He would push Cody. In my opinion, Cody Rhodes is a main eventer, especially outside of WWE. The guy's great. Cody should not go back. Cody doesn't need WWE. Sami Callihan was in NXT. That was not good for him. He was never going to get pushed. He's more than a mid-carder. And in NXT, the guy was not very good. I did not enjoy Sami Callihan in NXT. He's much better outside of WWE. Cody, Sami Callihan, the Young Bucks, I don't think should ever go to WWE again. Young Bucks have never been there, but I don't want to see them go there. Kenny Omega. Oh yeah, Pentagon. It's reported. Before I end, I'm done with the review. I'm just talking because I feel like it. It was rumored and reported WWE wants to go after Ray Phoenix and Pentagon Jr. Please do not go to WWE, Pentagon Jr., or Ray Phoenix. You don't need them. You do not need them to be big stars. You're making enough money, hopefully, outside of WWE. Even though you could make more money being in WWE, I don't want to see Ray Phoenix or Pentagon Jr. go to WWE. They would not use them correctly. They would not. Especially Vince on the main roster would not use them correctly. They would only get used correctly if they were a part of NXT forever. What else I want to say? WWE trying to get Pentagon and Ray Phoenix and other talent. Probably will try to get the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. WWE already has too much talent. They have enough damn talent. They have so much talent, they don't even know what to do with them, and they barely use them all. And a lot of the talent they do not use correctly. And for an example, look at Ty Dillinger. That guy's never used. And that guy was super over. He's never used. A lot of other talent they do not use to their potential. That's my opinion. So WWE, you already got enough damn talent. I get it, and I understand why WWE goes around worldwide trying to sign the best talent all the time and looking for new talent. But as of right now, you got enough damn talent. You're just trying to hoarding talent. Trying to take talent from every damn company, and that is not going to work. Because a lot of talent will turn you down or will not want to go there. I mean, seriously, WWE is hoarding talent. And I'm glad there's companies like Ring of Honor, New Japan, Impact Wrestling, Major League Wrestling. I'm glad these companies are around for other great wrestlers that do not want to go to WWE. Again, I hope Pentagon, basically, mostly Pentagon Jr., I don't want to see him go to WWE because they'll be misused. And the guy's a great fucking talent, and he'll be misused, misbooked. He'll be underutilized big time. And anyways, Pentagon, I believe, has a contract with Lucha Underground for 7 seasons. And Lucha Underground's only in like season 3 or 4. So I don't think Pentagon can even get out of his Lucha Underground contract. I don't know. Maybe he could if he wanted to. But seriously, I don't want to see Pentagon Jr. go there. Now, Kenny Omega is a different story. I don't know when his contract's up with New Japan. But I would rather see Kenny Omega go to Impact. Maybe Don Callis can get Kenny Omega to go to Impact because they're friends. At least I think Don Callis is friends with Kenny. I'm pretty sure they are because they're both from Canada and they know each other. And Don Callis did set up the match between Jericho and Omega. So Kenny Omega, I think, would be a great fit in Impact Wrestling. Much better fit in Impact than WWE. But Kenny's a great fit in New Japan. He's fine. He is absolutely fine where he is right now. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying. In 3 to 5 years, if Kenny's not a part of Impact, within 2 to 3 to 5 years, I think Kenny Omega will be in WWE within 3 to 5 years. Anyways, hope you enjoyed my Major League Wrestling review and my babbling on about wrestling talent. Bye for now, everybody. Have a great Saturday night. Have a great Sunday. Have a great weekend. Bye for now.